you guys are getting a lot of attention today. People are calling you the scariest search engine on the internet. How exactly does it work, and how are you different from what we all know, Google?
So Shodan is very different because Google looks at a subset of all the servers that are out there. It only looks at websites. What I do is I look at everything else. There are a lot of different softwares that run on the internet, and Shodan looks at all of those. So some people call it the backstage or the back channel of the internet in a way, because I look at IP addresses. So I get the raw information from each software. I don't necessarily care about the data that it provides. I care about the server or the device itself. So I store information about where is the device located, what operating system does it run, what version of the software does it run. So things about the device itself and not necessarily the data, which is something that Google provides to you.
So you say is this just you, or do you have a team?
This is a single-person effort at the moment, yes. It's just me.
So what you are describing sounds very scary. Does this mean that you can look at a web camera in someone's home and see what's going on?
In a way, yes. If people put these devices online, and usually for webcams, you need to specifically put them on the internet. By default, they're not connected to the internet, they're just on your home network. But there are people who set that up, and they think, well, nobody will ever find this. It's not on Google. And if it's not on Google, it's not on the internet. That's obviously not the case. And raw search engines, such as Shodan, are able to find those webcams. So yes, they're online.
So is there a way for people to protect themselves? I mean, if they have a password, are they safe? Or is anybody who has a device connected to the internet, password protected or not, somebody can hack into that if they find it on Shodan and they know how to do it?
So the part that makes Shodan scary in many people's eyes is not necessarily the search engine itself, but the way it exposes that many default configurations or many networks in general always operate under the assumption that if you don't put it on Google, nobody will find it. In security terms, that's known as security by obscurity, and Shodan kind of blows the lid off of that. So that's the way it's scary. To protect yourself, it's very simple. If you simply add passwords, that's a big step already, like custom passwords. And for many systems, specifically power plants and things that are really scary, they probably shouldn't be on the internet in the first place. And if they are, they probably shouldn't be publicly exposed the way they are. So it's mostly a question of educating people on proper usage of the devices and then configuring them to make them secure.
And yet information on Shodan has allowed people to hack into water plants and laboratories. I mean, how do you feel about the fact that people are using this information to do bad things?
Well, I think those cases are actually very questionable to begin with. But more importantly, the data has consistently been used and provided to many government agencies, such as the US CERT. So whenever these things are discovered, usually, they're first sent to the FBI or the US CERT, and they contact the owners. They contact the operators, and before anybody on Shodan even sees them or shares the results, the owners are notified. In the US, it's very easy. The ICS CERT can contact them, and they can try to secure them. For other countries, different CERTs are responsible for that. So the majority of my users do not use it to hack, because people who want to do illegal things don't want to use Shodan because Shodan is not anonymous. If you use Shodan, it's not an anonymous service. If you want to get all the results, you need to pay, you need to log in, you need to authenticate, you need to send me your business information. It's not an anonymous service. So
quickly, John, how many devices are we talking about?
So currently I have around 200 million devices in my database, and I grab information on various software about 500 million times, so 500 million a month.